Obligatory, I'm tired. This will be the generalized guide for the Taurus Cup 2 Electric Boogaloo, as some people are ready to make their next set of aces. If I included something that you don't think should be on this sheet, or I didn't include something significant, as always, please let me and everyone in the community know in the comment section down below, and I'll go ahead and update the sheet accordingly. Please always check the sheet for the most updated information. The downside of releasing these earlier is that the information is based on the current testing, so if I mess something up and need to change something or any new relevant information comes out for the CM, I will be updating the sheet. The link to the sheet will be in the description as always. Just understand that the thing you see in the video itself is the 1.0 version of the sheet. And if you enjoyed the video, do leave a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. This is the track for CM13. For the track condition, this CM is once again a medium track, 2400 meter Tokyo turf. It is counterclockwise, so left-handed this time, and it is spring season, sunny weather on firm terrain. For stats, there's no hidden stat bonus threshold this time. If you want near max speed as per usual, the more cap it is the better. Depending on the style you run and your mood, 850 to 1050 will be your target range for stamina. If you want to be really competitive, I recommend on the higher end of the stamina, or just all of these stats in general. For stamina, not only do you need to account for potential stamina debuffers that I will go over later, but dueling is also going to be crucial on the CM, and that will burn your stamina as well. The general recommendation is 850 stamina plus 1 gold recovery, or 1050 with no recovery. You can go 1 recovery just in case, depending on your preference. That's just the general recommendation. If you want to check how much you need to tailor to your specific preference, go to the Umalator with your Uma and their respective position to see exactly how much stamina satisfy you individually for what you want. For power, 900 to 1200, obviously try to get it as high as you can. For gut, around 550 to 650-ish is what you want to aim for. If you can get this higher, even better, as the extra gut will help you with the dueling at the final part of the race. If you plan on running Rico, that will help significantly, not just for your gut, but for your stamina and also just quality of life in your career run. You can also go some gut sparks if the parent is good, totally valid there. For wit, 900 to 1200. If you find these stats hard to achieve, just do the best you can with your ability and resources. Don't beat yourself over not hitting exactly these stats. Gut stats is very good for the CM since we can abuse dueling on the home stretch, and while gut build is viable for the CM, many people still prefer the standard format since the problem remains that gut deck doesn't provide much variety of good skills for you to get, so you're relying on getting skills from your career rival races, which is another layer of RNG on top of the RNG of hitting a god run with a gut deck, alongside other things like medium S or specific skills from inspiration. I think for people that have MLB top tier cards like Naruto Top Row Speed, Fine Motion, and Nice Nature Wit, and they can borrow something like a MLB Dictus, or I know Bamboo Memory is coming out soon, it'll be easier to pull this off, but most people won't have the luxury. And then there's also the consideration of the higher stamina requirement for the CM, and while gut does help with stamina consumption, it's not a one-to-one conversion, right? So personally, I would recommend the classic standard setup for the majority of players for the CM. I will still include gut cards in the final section for those that still wish to try it for yourself. This CM is very open in what Uma you run. There's no 1 or 2 god tier Uma, very flexible for this one. The Uma listed isn't an exhaustive list. If you wish to run someone not on these lists, perfectly okay. For frontrunner, Seiyun Sky is still going to be good. Just remember that her biggest hurdle is mid-game to maintain first for her unique. Other contestant like Valentine Bourbon, they're unique or stronger in getting to the first position. And speaking of Bourbon, still easy to build with her having groundwork, focus, or concentration, frontrunner savvy, and early lead in her kit, along with escape artist, very easy to build and strong. Ines Fujin, I want to go over a bit, pretty good for this track as well, may or may not be out depending on when you watch the video, but this track there's an uphill perfectly placed for her unique skill that allow her to get 0.45 velocity for 5 seconds on the last 300 meters. On top of that, she also has a gold recovery innately in her kit, and she also comes with Wild Wind as well, which is like the medium and gold version of Speed Eater, very strong there. Original Morozensky, quite strong as well. Redshift you'll see as a top recommended inherent skill across all the different positions. This Excel just works really well on this track, and by running Morozensky herself, you get a stronger version. Now, while she is quite strong, she does not have a lot going on in her innate kit. The only thing she has is early lead. She does have focus as well, so you just need one random green skill and a way of getting groundwork, and she also does not have any mid-range skill in her kit, unlike Seiyun Sky or Valentine Bourbon, for example, where they have escape artists, so there's a downside there. Summer Maru is fine, definitely not as strong to the other one in my opinion, but still a frontrunner option for you to run if you wish. Because she requires you to have a recovery skill for her unique, it kind of works out since you might want a recovery skill depending on your preference. However, she has a big problem. She cannot directly inherit Redshift from the original Maruzensky because she's Maruzensky herself. So you will need to inherit Redshift from a Maru grandparent, which hurts your legacy affinity on top of the other things that you need like your groundwork and your medium S. And then Kira-san, I will include her on every one of my sheet because I'm biased. And as always, if the coloring for any of these throughout the video you disagree with and you have insight on your end, as usual, I would love to hear it in the comments down below. Unique skill, literally the same as Aries Cup with the addition of Redshift from Maruzensky. If you do not have neither Seiyun Sky or Maru, I would suggest borrowing Maru. For skill, still your same usual frontrunner core, taking the lead as per always, count as +1 for groundwork requirement. Groundwork, get it from inheritance would be the best way, but if you want to use a card, go ahead. And as always, I'm not going to go over all of these, so this video will be very long, but again, I'll link the sheet in the description for you to look at all of these at your own pace. Dodging danger, improving positioning, or ignited spirit word combo, up tempo or killer tune, all these other good stuff, very much the same as the previous CM. Of course, recovery skills if you need and wish, and then green skills for groundwork as per always. If you run Narita top row speed card, can potentially eye for firm course menace, but beware that it is quite expensive, so do plan your skill points accordingly. And then if you can hit Spring Runner and left-handed randomly from career or from inspiration, that's also pretty ideal as well. Now for Pace Chasers, Christmas Ogre is better as a backliner this time around in my opinion, but you can certainly still run her as a pace if you wish. Pace Chaser are probably the weakest position I would say in the CM, but certainly not unwinnable. I got smacked so many times by these three over here in lobbies. A lot of Pace Chaser have innate recovery either in their unique like Agnes Tagion or Halloween Rice Shower, or they have recovery in their kit like Base Ogre or Arden, and then Chiono has Spring Spectacle, which is something that you might want to consider. Again, not an exhaustive list. If you want to run something not on here, not the end of the world. One more thing I'll know about Christmas Ogre is continue going 777 for the nice activation timing, but Uma Square would not do the same on this track, so don't inherit that. And instead of inheriting that, inherit Redshift instead. Yippee! It's likely your most reliable acceleration you can get for pace, so please get it. Barkero still good, Triumphant Pulse always a classic, and then Fuji and Brian's Unique are also fine options. For skill, Nimble Nav from Inspiration or Inheritance, I don't think you should aim for No Stopping Me just because unless your Uma has it in their kit, running Bijin Wit card on the CM with high stats requirement all around is not great for your wit stats. Head on, an Excel option, and then a bunch of the other usual good skills you usually see. I do want to mention Prepare to Pass and Speedstar. Get this skill as one of your last resort once there's nothing better to get, since it's not that effective due to the position of the final corner for this track being in the Excel zone, especially Speedstar. You'll likely spend a ton of skill point on something that barely do anything, so keep that in mind. And then of course recovery option if you want or wish, and then green skills, you can get them if you have extra skill points remaining. Obviously try to get the Spring Runner left-handed and then the firm condition as a priority, and then if you need more extra stamina you can also go for the stamina options as well. For Lace Surgers, I've been seeing a ton of variety, a lot more that's not on this list can work, so Lace Surger fans are eating good for this CM. Christmas Ogre can be played as a late Dober, Cheerleader, Nice Nature, which depending on when you watch the video might or might not be out already. Do have NSM in her kit already, which is nice, same for Kawakami Princess over here. Digital have Super Uma Stand, which helps out a lot. Summer Special Week has a recovery unique, and then Base Special Week, a bit of a sleeper pick I think, but her training bonuses are not the greatest, so there's that to consider. And then there's Mambo, of course. I actually have not seen any Mambo in any lobbies or CM so far, so praying we will see some Mambo enjoyer for the CM where a lot of Umas are open to be played. Unique skill, again, more Redshift. Dober Unique is very good. Pump is also good with tighter position condition, but if you don't have Dober or Maru, you can use Ryan as the other inheritance if you wish. For skills, Nimble Navigator or No Stopping Me still good here. Again, unless your Uma have No Stopping Me already in their kit, I do not recommend forcing it with Bijing Wit card, just aim for Nimble if you must. Slick Surge or on your left, if you think you need more Excel, there's an option there. I personally just like buying Slick Surge, but that's just me. Some more of the usual good skill, and then there's Fast and Furious. still good, can get it from Marvelous Sunday Power. If you get 1.5 million CC, pretty good for this track. There's 3 uphills on this one, and I'd say every single one will benefit you quite well, or at least decently. And then more skills down here. Obviously, if you need any recoveries, then go get them. And then for green skills, prioritize the speed and power one if you can, but you can go stamina if you're lacking some. Now for end closer, have not been seeing too much of them so far. The most I've seen is Tamamo, which is crazy since I heard horror stories of training her in track laser doing mile races, but hey, gotta respect the love for the Uma. Gold Ship have a gold recovery in her kit and Uma stand as well, and this track does not benefit straightaway spurs, so you don't need to worry about farming for that. Just try to inherit Nimble and Daring Strike and it will be Gucci. Unique is the same as Laserger, nothing new to speak about. Skill, Nimble Nav, and NSM, same story. I would recommend just Nimble if you want. And then Daring Strike, also a good skills that you'll likely want. Depending on when you watch this video, you might want to wait till the Mr. CB Wood card to be out first before training your end closer, cause that card is an end closer dream on a Wood card that can grant Daring Strike along with other end closer skills. Uma Stand, get it if you can afford to from Inspiration or random track laser event. And then we have your other usual good skills, recovery if you need them, and then the same old green skills if you want some stat boost, prioritize speed, power, and stamina if you need to. If you think Aries Cup debuff party is over, think again, we're back for round 2. There's 2 variations, one being the classic Evo Nature where she potentially zap your opponent's stamina and hope their Uma runs out of juice. Nice Nature have both All-Seeing Eye and Mystifying Murmur, and then you can also potentially go Wedding Mayano as well, as she also has Mystifying Murmur. Can potentially build her as a hybrid ace with it if that's the route you want to go. I know Murmur isn't the most consistent skill, but Stam debuff is definitely more prevalent this time around compared to Aries Cup, especially since the dueling is so strong on this track. Messing with their stamina on top of that can really kill some Umas. Dominator debuffer still a thing. If you want a more consistent debuff, this would be it. If you don't have time or burn out from building aces for CM, just make 1 or 2 of these and move on with your day. They are very low effort. For types of other debuffs to include on your debuffers, I would prioritize Hesitant first because they are guaranteed to have an impact, and if you go against someone that have proper stamina debuff will likely not do anything. For running style to target, in my opinion, I think front first, then late, and then pace and end would be best. Here are some of the cards for the different debuff skills. The link to the sheet again will be in the description down below for you to take a look if you wish. Now, sparks and cards to run. Inheriting a mix of power and stamina would be the general recommendation. Do monitor your stamina situation and make adjustment for your Uma if needed. You can also go a couple of gut sparks as well if it's on a good parents, since gut is good for dueling on this track, and the other 2 stats, it's situational, or if they're on really insane parents, then you can also just do that. You might want to invest in specific distance sparks to allow you to race more consistently in career runs without burning through your clocks, or for ideal epithet bonuses. I've covered these before, I don't want to bore you again, so I'll just let you read it at your own pace if you wish. Again, link to the sheet is in the description down below. Now let's look at cards and general setup for your aces. If you can, try to get at least 50% race bonus for your entire deck, so please keep that in mind when you're building your deck. The general stats setup for the CM will be 2 speed, 2 wit, and then 2 flex cards. It could be another wit card with a Rico or a wit card with a power card. Those 2 are the most common variation that I've seen. I've also seen 2 power cards too with Pasa and Marvelous Sunday. Marvelous Sunday counting as like a mini stamina card in a sense. You can run as extra speed or a stamina card if you need to or wish, but the other pattern that I mentioned earlier are more common for what I've been seeing. For a gut setup, this is from limited sample size, but you can go 3 gut, 1 speed, and 2 wit. I've seen people drop a gut for a speed card for consistency's sake, but the 3 gut variation definitely has a higher cap. Speed cards, Naruto Top Road obviously being the best, comes with Firm Course Menace and potentially even up tempo, which is nice. Machikane, also top tier if you want to high roll. Kita-san Black, Professor of Curvature, a lot of people already have her on high limit break. Biko, very good stat stake. Kawakami Princess, you can unlock center stage on her last chain event, which unlock prudent positioning, so you just need to RNG dodging danger from races for your front runner for you to get that pair of skills. For SRs, we got Shingo Windy at MLB, has 10% race bonus, which is nice, and then Sweet Tosho is okay. There's also these recent event cards and the Shop Brian card as well if you have them. Stamina cards, ideally we don't want to run any. If you have trouble with stamina, just increase your stamina sparks. But if you really need it for high stamina or for a gold recovery option because your Uma doesn't innately have any in their kit, then Super Creek is the best one for the job. But again, I personally don't like it, but I have seen people done. Power cards, El Condor Pasa, still very good cards for the stats it gives. 2 usable green skills you can get for groundwork condition, medium straightaway, and killer tunes or up tempo. A very good power cards all around. Yeah, I know Mutaki still good from the many good or usable skills, ramp up, home stretch haste, up tempo, and tail health high in the hint pool. And then from a random event, you can also get like medium corner, playtime's over, or opt-in for it's on. Very good skill card. If you have issue getting high enough power running this card though, I would suggest an alternative like Pasa instead. Smart Falcon, groundwork for frontrunner and not deal with the whole groundwork inspiration shenanigan. Although there has been a surge of really good frontrunner parents out there now, so it's probably best to just inherit groundwork from inspiration nowadays. Marvelous Sunday event card, still good, 15% race bonus, 35 initial power and stamina, and being Marvelous Sunday has some very nice skill hints with straightaway adept, ramp up, and tail health high to potentially grab. Daitaku Helios also not a bad option for front as it comes with escape artists for those that need a stronger emphasis on mid-game skills that don't have it already in their kit. Amir Vega for N to get Daring Strike, which honestly might be dead with CB coming out soon, so I might remove that once CB comes out. Nishino Flower also at 15% race bonus at MLB, has some green skills you can get and can grant you straightaway adept and potential charming event early, which is always appreciated. For Gut, Bamboo Memory will be out, which is good, but not God tier status like the next CM. Dictis has high race bonus, high yields. I see pretty much every Gut deck user so far, but we'll see how that changes once Bamboo comes out. Your 2 accessible option of Bijin and Haru obviously very nice. Bakshin if you want to guarantee groundwork. Fujin incredibly good on front. And then Amir Vega really good as well with some alternative SR Gut if you have them, but not some of these other ones. With cards, Fine Motion needs no introduction, high stats, race bonus on 3 LB and MLB, and potentially gives you Nimble Navigator. Nice Nature outside of on your left for your Laserger. MLB grants 15% race bonus, which is really good for the Wit card. Mr. CB, if you run End Closer, please take this card, extremely good for them. Yukino Bijin Wit, again, I don't personally recommend using this card for No Stopping Me when the stats requirement is so high, but you can make your own choice. Bourbon Wit event card for your frontrunner that isn't Bourbon for taking the lead, and then for your SR, Marvelous Sunday and Tachyon at MLB grants 10% race bonus, but any work as they grant 5% scaling up depending on your limit break. Tachyon especially good here with her having a small hint pool with all medium skills on top of the skill point bonus. Finally, for Friendship card, if you have Rico at 1 LB, preferably MLB, can use this card for some extra stamina and gut, mood recovery option in career, and just make your rest click feels less bad. I have not seen many using the new PAL card, so anyone that have experience with that card, please let me know how well that card does. And of course, if you don't have any of these, just use what you have available in your account and adapt based on it. Just keep in mind of the ideal 50% race bonus and deck ratio for your overall deck. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, do leave a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. If you have any comments, questions, thoughts, if I misspoke, if you disagree with some of these, think something on the sheet should be changed or added or removed, please drop a comment down below. I'll greatly appreciate that too. Again, link to the sheet is in the description and I'll update it if needed for any adjustment. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Take care.